Evening, everybody, and welcome. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Olivet City Council meeting for November 18th, 2025. Can we please have roll call?
Mayor Clark,
Present.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Here.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Here.
Councilmember Pashan Hellman,
Here.
Councilmember Lewis.
Here. Okay, do we have any communications to share at this time?
I have no written communications.
Okay. We'll go ahead and go with the city manager's report.
All right. Good evening. Uh-oh, it just moved.
It's a conspiracy.
I know. I apologize to anybody watching online. We have gremlins in the video, but we do have an item on the agenda to address that. So, all right. So good evening, everybody. Because this is the only council meeting for November, I'm going to do both regular council report, and then after that, and after any questions, and we set the council retreat date, I'll go ahead and do staff reports as well. So it'll be a little bit longer than normal. So as this is the first meeting of the month, we will talk about updates to Olive Crossing. So lot three is moving along really nicely. Their landscaping and irrigation is complete or mostly complete. The fountain rough-in has begun, and then they are also working on their punch list items. So the work of Keeley to do the building itself, the shell of the building, and the exterior, of the property, improvements to the property probably is going to be wrapping up here end of this month, middle of next month. And so then work that we will be seeing will be from the tenants themselves for this lot specifically. So Paris Baguette and Brass Tap, they are working on their respective tenant spaces. In fact, Brass Tap is starting to put out on social media that they are coming to Olivet. So they are starting to let people know. Our communications manager, Kiana, has been reposting their social media stuff to the city's Facebook page. So if you want to see what they are putting forward, please do so on the city's Facebook page. And then Tropical Smoothie, which is another tenant, their plans are in with staff and are under review. And then Verizon is another tenant that we know is coming, but they have not yet submitted plans. And so then that just leaves one remaining tenant space for this particular building. Lot 5 is in the conceptual plan is the office building. But as we have been talking about, the developer is working with a restaurant for the northern half of Lot 5. They are still working to get terms. I reached out to Mr. Yawitz today to kind of see if there was an update. He said they are waiting for a vice president to come in. He expects that individual to come in the beginning of December, and we will know when the vice president has arrived because there will be a crane on site with a flag to indicate how tall the building is going to be. So, should you see a flag on a crane on Lot 5, we will know that the visit has happened. Um, you know,
Is it going to be more than one story?
I
Tall for
I
us?
I don't believe so.
Just trying to understand the crane part.
I didn't have a
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I don't know. But you can't make these things up. So my guess is it's really hard to conceptualize the mass of a building relative to its surrounding. And so the crane with the flag will give the vice president and whoever else he brings with him, he or she brings with him, kind of a better understanding of how the building is going to fit in the actual site. That would be my best guess. And from Mr. Yowitz, He's like, it's just one more hoop to jump through to get what he would like there. So I share with you. Lot 6 is the hotel. So this project has been at PCDC for its last two meetings, both October 16th and November 6th. It is scheduled for the November 20th PCDC agenda. Staff expects that PCDC will be able to vote on the project at that meeting so that they have the things that they need. We can't, not going to force PCDC to vote, but they certainly will have the things that they need to do that. Just a reminder, these are the most current plans. The elevations have changed a little bit since the last time I shared that with you. But the main part of the site plan, as far as where the building is located and parking, has not changed. For those who are interested, please use the QR code that will take you to the website, and it has all of the plans that PCDC will be reviewing on the 20th. So you're welcome to look at those things. And then, of course, lots 1 and 2 are the Aldi, and they are finished. And then lot 4 is the Clover, and they are also finished. So news around town, we have a couple of open seats on the pension board. We do have 2 applications, and so my plan is for the council to do your interviews for those 2 applicants at your January work session. If we receive additional applications between now and say, the end of December when we're sending that packet out for that work session, we will certainly include those as well. So individuals interested can follow the QR code to find out more about the pension board as well as the online application for those who are interested. What is it? It is T-minus 8 days and counting until the turkey trot. When I looked this morning, we had almost 1,400 registrants this year. So, and then 1,382. So a really good number. It is expected to be nice weather for Thanksgiving, for November, right? So we would encourage everybody that is interested to register and to come out Thanksgiving morning to enjoy this really popular community event. It is also a fundraiser for the Harvey Kornblum. And so we, as a city, have been running this food drive for them since probably about September. And so you can see on the screen there, that is the donations from at least earlier this week. We asked them to come and empty the bin for us. They've been a couple times to empty the bin for us and empty the bin up at Five Oaks. You can also see Mayor Clark donated some cleaning supplies as well as egg cartons. Surprisingly, they really do need egg cartons. They get eggs in bulk. And so it helps them to be able to distribute eggs to their families. So if you have empty egg cartons as you are cooking and baking, feel free to drop those off. And then new this year and debuted at Coffee with the Mayor, we are doing dog bandanas. We're selling dog bandanas. So they are $15. Again, proceeds go to the food pantry. There are 2 size options. At Coffee with the Mayor, we had some, and I'm a little biased, very cute dogs modeling. The one on the left is mine, and the one on the right is Beverly's. So they were very cute. And then, of course, we have the annual Turkey Trot t-shirt modeled by David Moons. So if you are running and you register, you can get a t-shirt. And if you're bringing your dog, you can certainly get your dog a bandana to participate in Turkey Trot. City council member applications are open November 25th. So we will be having an election April 7th, not just us. The municipal election is April 7th. And the city's charter requires those interested in being a council member to get some signatures and have those things turned in prior to the filing deadline. So, starting November 25th, interested individuals can pick up their candidate packet here at City Center. There are 2 council seats that are up for election for their 3-year term. If you are interested, please follow the QR code and it will give you additional information about running for office. The 25th is a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. I have teacher hearing. All right. So the police department, they do every year, they do Cops for Pets, which they are doing again this year in December. You're welcome to bring any items, dog food, leashes, beds, newspapers, bleach, anything that the animal shelter up the road at Bauer and Warson might need. We participate with that. But they are also on November 29th having a pet adoption event up at 5 Oaks on Warson. So there will be some cute pets available for adoption, and we would encourage anyone to go up to 5 Oaks on Warson if you are considering adding a pet to your family. And then Toys for Tots, you may have seen the bin as you walked in this evening. So this is the fire department, their community outreach group. They're partnering with Toys for Tots this year. So please consider dropping off a new unwrapped toy at either 5 Oaks or here at the city center. And then we will be collecting those until December 9th. And then everyone's favorite thing this time of year is leaf collection. So please look at the schedule and your particular section. They are doing the second pass this week. There will be 2 more passes, of course, weather dependent. If you want more information about what section you're in or how to put the leaves out for the leaf collection, please follow the QR code for more information. And then that is all I have for this. I would encourage everybody to sign up for the city's weekly newsletter. It comes out on Monday, and it's a great way to stay in touch with everything going on in the city. And then upcoming meetings are on your screen. Park meeting, PCDC meeting are happening this week. The regularly scheduled council meeting for November 25th has been canceled. And then the next council work session is December 2nd. And City Center is closed November 27th and 28th. And then 5 Oaks has some changed hours next week as well. So November 26th, they're open 5:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. so that they can help get ready for Turkey Trot. Thanksgiving, they are closed. And then the day after Thanksgiving, they open at 9 a.m. and are open until 3 p.m. And then the last thing I'd like to do at this point is schedule the city council retreat. So you should have gotten a list of dates. So I think if I just talk to each of you, and if you can tell me the dates that you are available, then we may have a consensus date. So I'm going to start with the mayor.
I spoke with my council.
Unmute.
Again, I spoke with my council at home and they said that any time is good because I have not been scheduled to do anything on any of those dates.
Councilmember Lewis, days you are available.
I was gonna give it the opposite.
Mhm.
Then I gotta look again. I am available on the 18th, the 24th, the 25th, the 7th, and the 15th.
Okay. Councilmember Pashon Hellman, days you are available.
I am available on the 17th, the 18th, the 24th, the 25th, 31st and 7th are questionable.
Okay. All right, and the 15th is a,
15th is a no.
okay. Councilmember Solomonov.
Ideally on the 25th, January 25th, and Maxine,
Okay,
that works for you?
and so, Mayor Pro
Everyone has
Tem
said-
Weil?
I was available ideally on the 15th of February. On the 25th, I'm not available until afternoon. Till I have a program at work till noon, so I couldn't start till 12:30.
Okay, do you, Councilmember Solomonov, do you have any other days that you are available?
24th, 31st, and 7th, I could potentially make those work if we absolutely had to.
If we had to. And then, Mayor Pro Tem Weil, do you have days other than the 15th that you're available?
Saturdays I work. I could talk with I could check with work and see if I could maybe make an exception on the 7th. And what was the other ones you just threw out?
The 24th, 31st.
I can't do the 24th or the 34th first. I got programming.
Okay. So it looks like the 25th, but we would,
Or I can try and make the 7th work if possible. I can look into the 7th.
but then Councilmember Pashan Hellman.
Oh, I
the
thought you,
7th is
It's
a,
not ideal, but
Oh.
we can probably make it work.
okay.
okay. So why don't Councilmember or Weil and Councilmember Pashan Hellman see if if you can make those days work, send me an email. Yes or no. Or yes, but it can, it needs to start at 10 a.m. Or yes, but it needs to end by 1 o'clock, right?
Can you just clarify real quick? Are we looking just at February 7th?
Yes. Unless everybody wants to do really a half day and it would only be in the afternoon on January 25th, like starting at 1 and maybe going until 5 or 6.
That would be ideal for me. I'm waiting on the basketball schedule for all of that to come out.
So I'm looking for something from the council. If you
I
want to
can-
do it
I
January
can-
25th and you want to do it in the
If you
afternoon,
want to do the 25th, I can see if I can shorten my program to 11:30 and be here by 12.
so we could do something like from noon until 5 or noon until 6 or noon until 4.
I will know tomorrow. I have to check with somebody.
Because it looks like the 25th kind of works for everybody.
Yep,
Yeah,
better for you
my
the
preference
7th.
would just be to make sure that we have enough time. I don't think 4 hours, I think 4 hours will be too tight.
5.
Yeah, so if it's a half day, I would just say, to go at least till 5. I'm willing to go till 6. Depending on, what all we need to get covered.
Comments from other council members?
Yeah, going from like 12 to 6 would be fine on the 25th if that works better for people, but the other one works for me too.
Like I said, I'm wide.
Okay, so we'll look at, let's put it on January 25th. And we'll look at like 12 to 6. And I will reach out to our consultant and we will see if that works for them. And if I will let the council know either way.
Okay.
Okay?
So February 15th was not an option.
No, because we only had 3 people who can do that. Okay. Thank you very much for taking the time to do that. And that's all I have for my report.
So now we'll have our
Staff reports.
staff reports.
Yep. All right. Starting with the fire department. So, number 4 Homestead Acres is going to be a new house. And so it's, the existing house is going to come down and the owner was gracious enough to allow the fire department to do some, live training, for, a house fire so that they can actually get in there and see what it's like to enter through residential windows and come in through the roof and all the things that are good for them to know. And then the other thing I would say is if any of you have ever heard about the fundraiser for Backstoppers, which happens the day before Thanksgiving, Guns and Hoses. So this year we have a firefighter, Matt Hayes, who is actually going to participate in one of the first rounds. There is a video on the city's Facebook page of him sparring with Captain Rujewitz, not Rujewitz, Captain D'Angelo, as they prepare for him to participate in Guns and Hoses. So if that's of interest to you, it's a great fundraiser for police and fire departments, basically the Backstoppers organization. Parks and Rec has been very busy. They have some new cooking classes at Five Oaks, and the one that is Caregiver and Me has been very popular. This picture here is of their pretzel class, and their next class is on pumpkin pie, 'tis the season. And then October 30th, they had their last star party of the season. They had about 30 people attend, and they were able to see the new moon and then the rings of Saturn. And then the Harvest Festival, here is the council at their table. It's very cute. So Harvest Festival was a success. They had 83 pre-registered kids. This is first year in a long time that they asked for pre-registration, but they had a total of 71 registered kids. And of course, those kids came with their parents. And so they believe about 400 people came to Harvest Festival. Lots of positive comments about the parade and the not so spooky trail and the event overall. So the planning department, one of the items on the agenda for the 20th is the US Bank site, the former US Bank site that's on Olive. We have received a special use permit for Mercy Centralized Ambulatory Pharmacy. So it would be a retail pharmacy, but also they would process home delivery orders there. It is not an urgent care center, so they are not treating individuals at the location, but they would be doing some counseling for individuals who are taking, say, multiple medicines or medicines that need to be taken on a regular basis. And so, some follow-up and making sure that they are taking their medicines as required. So we just wanted to let you know that that is what has come in for that site. The police department has been doing a lot of community policing the last couple of weeks. So they were out and about on Halloween looking for trick-or-treaters in the neighborhood and passing out candy. So they, Officer Bagsby and Lincoln, Sergeant Lincoln right here. And then this is Sergeant Corley. This is at Harvest Festival. So they've had a lot of opportunity to meet and interact with the community. And then Public Works. So this is the fencing along the trail, the Centennial Greenway through Indian Meadows Park. There was some concern of folks that were, here's the street here, cutting through this resident's yard to access the trail. Right over here is the pavilion and the playground, so they were kind of cutting through here. We've had some problems getting the fence panels, extra fence panels in, but we did get some of them. We are waiting for additional panels, and Public Works has been installing those. So that's part of why this green fencing is here. And then Public Works is ready for the snow, even if the rest of us might not be ready for snow. But they have been putting the plows and the spreaders on the trucks and making sure everything works so that they will be ready for our first snow of the year. So with that, I can answer any questions you might have.
Okay, so now we will have our monthly financial report from Mr. Mann. You have the floor.
Good evening, mayor and council members. Today we have in front of us our financial reports up for the 4 months up through October. Thankfully, nothing significant to report. Revenues are well ahead of where we kind of thought they would be, and then expenditures are a little bit below. Most of the positive variances showing in our revenues are in the that sales tax category, which is helped along a lot by the use tax. Use taxes they had a really strong July along with sales taxes, and then have kind of stayed stable from there. Overall, property taxes are going to stay low until later on this month into December, as we would expect, as people pay their bills. And then utility taxes, they gained some ground in that we had a warmer July and into August. And so we saw the collections from there, along with the rate increases. Parks and Rec, they're still below expectations. It's the room rentals and memberships are still lagging behind. Sports signups are really strong. And then those remaining categories, licenses and medical transport, are kind of lagging behind. But then everything else is a little bit above. Let's go to the chart. You see there where we're at. We get a little sneak peek into November. We're in the orange line there. And you can see it's a little bit above overall where it was year before, which is the light blue. And what we're seeing there is the addition of a kind of a major retailer with Aldi being remitted in there. If we can bring up the use taxes. What the use tax is a lot of times is a one like a business. So we'll make a major purchase and then we'll see that come in. What we're seeing more than anything here is it's the Amazon collections are really strong. So that's good. That's a nice stable provider, which is again better and more count. We can count on that better than we can, like a big warehouse buying a big piece of equipment. I don't know when that's going to happen as much as I can count on nice stable Amazon collections. So with that, again, nothing major to report, which is kind of good news for your finances as we enter some of our mid-year reviews, and then budgeting's right around the corner.
And then did you want to tell them about the estimated impact of the senior tax rate?
Oh yeah, it's making the news cycle a little bit. We did get some information through some of those newspaper reports from the county. 566 parcels are qualified for us for a grand total of year one of $34,000, right? $34,000. That is something so we've set our base. The base will now grow from that base. The impact to us will grow from there. So we're not going to make the news cycle, but it will have an impact later on. And hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit better, more information on where those are and be able to anticipate that a little bit more. So yes, thank you for reminding me that. Good. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mann.
Quick question, when are we gonna have a discussion on the reserve?
Sure. Great.
Next month. Okay.
Next month. So you got 2 weeks. We'll give you off for the turkey trot, and then we'll talk about it on December 2nd.
Cool.
Okay.
Great.
Anything in particular that you would like to bring up?
No, I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure.
You bet.
visited,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Get boned up.
Okay, so now we're going to go to our city council reports. Councilmember Solomonov, do you have anything you'd like to report, sir?
Nothing new from that Dustin Border.
Thank you. Okay, Councilmember Pishon Hellman.
Attended the zoning Board of Adjustment on the 13th, and it was an informational meeting, helping the new members of the board to go over processes, procedures, and just have a chance to ask questions and become familiar with the way that the board operates. So it was good, kind of an orientation.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Councilmember Lewis.
Yep, PCDC met on 11/6 and was another marathon meeting for a while. One of the things that was brought up was data centers has obviously been making a lot of news in the world right now about location, and we talked about it, and Mr. Treehouse, correct me if I'm wrong, but currently they wouldn't be allowed in our commercial district, but they would be allowed in our light industrial district. There's an open question of should we be looking at the need to have a special use permit for it. So just something to think about. I think as we move forward, as a lot of cities are doing various things to kind of, look at it, whether they're pro or con, not stating either way right here,
Mhm.
but something to think about proactively on it. So.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Lyle.
The meeting I'll be attending is tomorrow night, so
Okay.
next time.
Coffee with the mayor went really good. I wanted to say that they gave me a tour of their facility at the Harvey Kornblum facility. It blew my mind to see how many people are in need. When I got there, there was a line all the way around the building. And this is in the morning, and you had people of all backgrounds there. Some had some decent looking cars. They weren't poor people. These are people in a bad way with how things are going. And I'm glad that we're part of this to help through the turkey trot. I also will be attending the Creve Coeur Olivet Chamber Breakfast in December and represent our city to the best of my ability. Now we'll do our hearing from citizens. Is anyone in the audience or online that would like to say something or wish to speak? Seeing none, we'll go on to our next item, Bill number 3053. I'd like the title to be read, please.
Bill 3053, an ordinance authorizing a special permit use to Easy Storage Olivet LLC to operate a 3,772 square foot full-service restaurant on the property grounds addressed as 9538 Olive Boulevard, Zone COR, Commercial Office Retail District. Second reading and public hearing.
Okay. We're now in a open public hearing. Can we please have our presentation?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Carlos Trejo. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development for the City of Olivet. And before you tonight is a brief presentation regarding tonight's bill, Bill 3053, which would be the authorization to issue a special permit to allow a restaurant approximately 3,772 square feet at the Easy Storage Facility. Address is 9538 Olive Boulevard. This item was read for the first time at your previous meeting in October, and tonight is the public hearing. The next slide. 9538 Olive Boulevard is a developed parcel. It's almost 1 acre lot. It has a 5-level mixed-use building. It's over 100,000 square feet. But on the lower level, there's approximately 6,000 square feet of commercial retail type of space. The owners of the property would like to combine 3 tenant spaces totaling 3,772 square feet to provide a 67-seat full-service restaurant. The full-service restaurant, as defined by our code, is where the patron goes into the restaurant, they are seated, and then if somebody comes to take their order, somebody comes to bring their food, and somebody comes to bring their bill and take payment, and then once they're completed, they just leave the premises. That's the difference of a full service compared to a casual service or a fast food type of service. So this authorizes is specifically for a full service restaurant. The property grounds are zoned what we call COR, Commercial Office Retail District. And under the COR district, restaurants are authorized through a special permit process. Why do we do restaurants through special permits? Typically, there are unique considerations that take in place, whether it's alcohol, liquor, hours of operation, music, outdoor seating, the grease traps, the disposal, the flutes, and things of that nature. So it requires a higher level of review, where one location may be suitable for a type of use, another location may not, just given the configurations and the complexities of the property surrounding. So it gives us the ability to consider those unique things that come into play, especially with a restaurant and where that location is. In this case, this site has been discussed during the original review process. I think we go back to 2012, and then 2018 they started construction of trying to encourage them to consider, like the Domo, which we have as a specialty eatery, and then to try to get a restaurant use or some type of retailer as opposed to a personal service establishment. So then the next slide. The special permit procedure, again, kind of goes over where the council has a little bit more authority in terms of the review, given some special considerations that may or may not make it feasible in the site. We have a process for that review. It's kind of highlighted there in that chart where we look at the impact, the district, the comp plan, the site suitability, the surrounding impacts. And we also have the authorization to require some additional things to try to mitigate or mediate some of those issues in there. And then we have, of course, our comprehensive plan, and I apologize, I did not change the right side of the leg on that. That should be what the conditions are for the COR district, and that's to create a kind of a dynamic type of atmosphere along the Olive Boulevard corridor in there. The next slide, going down on the special permit procedures. Again, when you do it, you're required to submit a site plan. The use has to be listed in the underlying district. It has to further the comprehensive plan, has to be suitable to its surroundings, complementary to the surroundings. You have to consider mitigation of any spillover effects, and the city has the authority to require additional buffering, aesthetic enhancements, open space, and set additional limitations, and consider public services in that process. The next slide. Going back to what's being proposed, it's going to be on the lower level. It's approximately about 3,700 square feet, kind of centered in between the building. On the west side, which is on your right, on your monitors, is the office apartment complex for the person that is housed servicing the storage facility. On the left side, which is on the east, is Domo. And they've been operating pretty good for the past, I believe, 6 months now at the site. And then the upper levels consist of 4 levels of storage. And actually, in the back of the building, there's some additional interior storage. We'll get a closer look to it. And of course, you can see in the aerial view, we have the bowling alley. We have Mr. Clackner here, which is neat to see, who's the adjacent property owner to the east. And then we have Dobbs, which is part of the Olivet Center on the western side. Thank you, Ms. McKinney. All right, on the next slide, this is the floor plan. So again, the building is facing Olive Boulevard, which is going to be on the top. On your left, you can see the configuration of the parking. And what I did is I highlighted the 3,700 square feet that the tenant space is being proposed for a restaurant use in there. And you'll have Domo, of course, on your right and the apartment on the left. But right behind it are internal driving aisles within the building. And that's how the vehicles go in. They go inside the building itself and they unload. And you can see 2 little X's. Those are the elevators. And then the areas behind the elevators, there's additional storage units. So all this is kind of like compacted in there. And that yellow only has an exterior wall that's facing Olive. Everything else are interior walls, either adjacent to the tenants on each side or the drive aisle corridor. So that yellow now on the right-hand side of the slide is the layout of their seating area and how that restaurant would be set in there with their kitchen area in there. And then at the very bottom, I put internal rear side of the tenant space. That is the bottom space of the yellow that's on the left-hand side. Sorry for the confusion on there, but it kind of shows you how it's a unique space and how everything would fit in there. And again, they only have one exterior wall, and that's the wall facing Olive. Everything else is in the interior. And the reason that's important is, as part of their proposal, is that their exhaust hood and all that is going to go directly up. Not because partly out of courtesy, but they can't go to the east or the west because there's tenants there, and they can't go back because they got a drive aisle and spaces there in there. So the exhaust vent is going to go directly up to the top of the building in there. And then their grease trap is kept in that area where it says internal rear side of tenant space. It's actually within the space itself. There's an area for the grease trap, and then their storage is just a little bit right behind Domo. On the right-hand side is where there's the existing dumpsters are all kept in an enclosed area, kind of underneath and covered by the building for the most part. In there. Sure. If you're looking at that lower level, and you will see a small square right above the S in spaces, the first S in spaces. And I believe that is where that is set.
Oh, okay.
And then everybody has access into that internal side corridor to get in and out of the building through, for maintenance. Okay. Now, the next slide. Talk about the parking. Because of our restaurants are generally based on the occupancy capacity. You need one stall for every 3 seats. And because restaurants change and come the way we've set up our ordinances, we make the calculation of what would be the maximum seating that would be within that side. We calculated approximately about 113 seats. They're not proposing 113 seats. But over time, things change, and we try to we have a calculation process that tries to even it out and get a best estimate as possible in there. So to accommodate for that, the restaurant itself needs exactly 37 stalls. On the site, they're short, but they're negotiating with Mr. Clackner, the owner of the Olivet Lanes next door, to obtain an easement to access 12 to 16 additional parking stalls in that configuration shown in yellow. Either the site will be restriped or signed in there, and depending on what configuration, they'll have either 16 perpendicular stalls or 12 stalls, leaving the site pretty much the same. Through an easement that gives the flexibility of the owner, the ground owner, Mr. Flackner, depending on what they decide to do down the future on how they would use the property and renegotiate how those parking spaces would stay. Another thing is under our code, when you, in an effort to encourage mixed use type of developments, we allow them a 20% discount in parking. That's one of the incentives for that. That actually helps the site in there. So they're required 37 stalls, given all the calculations in there, and there's 43 stalls that would be available, accessible for use for this. So I have, in theory, plenty of parking if you look solely at the numbers and the calculations and how that's set in there. The next slide. Again, the PCDC reviewed this at its last meeting, in its meeting on October 16th, I believe was the date. They motioned to recommend to the council the consideration of approval of authorizing the special permit use. They did set specific conditions. There are 5 that are noted. One is that we get the legal instrument securing the offsite parking, prior to the permitting. We would want that reviewed by staff and also the city attorney. The grease trap be maintained within the interior, the food waste and refuse disposal in the existing enclosure that's on the side behind Domos. The maximum seating not to exceed 113, and the hours of operation reflect 6 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. Essentially, those are operating hours for somebody with a liquor license if they choose to pursue that down the road in there. Beyond that, Mayor, that is all the items I have. I have representatives for Easy Storage, but Steve Bond, who's the realty representative, and then also Don Clackner, who's the owner of Olivet Lanes. In there, there's a couple items just out of if I can just get those for housekeeping purposes, enter into the record. One is the original ordinance that authorized the special permit use for Easy Storage, and that's 2622, and actually it was 2017. I think I said 2012. I apologize about that. And then ordinances 2711 and 2736 deal with the developers agreements that the city has regarding the development of this parcel. One was adopted in 2020, and then 2021 was the final agreement. Our 2024 comprehensive plan update, including the 5-year economic development plan, the Olivet Municipal Code and zoning map, including section 400-740, which deals with special permits authorizing full service restaurants, the staff presentation and the report that was in the October 16th PCDC meeting. The public hearing notice, we did put this and have it published in the St. Louis County. There's an affidavit of publication that was published November 3rd, 2025. We have to do this 15 days prior to tonight's meeting, and the list of addresses that were notified, and then this presentation before the comments to the council. Beyond that, I'd be glad to answer any specific questions in there. If not, I do have representatives both for the building owner and the adjacent owner.
Does anyone on the council have anything they'd like to say? Go ahead.
Quick question. So the new stalls that will be part of this building now, the new parking, is there access for people to drive? If there's no parking right next to the building, would they be able to drive over to the new spots without getting back on Olive?
Yes, there is a
exit?
cross-access agreement. The yellow is just so I can haze out.
Oh,
But
here,
you can
this-
see they share the signalized intersection, and they already have a coordinated cross-access easement. And a matter of fact, it's a good question that you ask, because it's part of our transportation master plan in there. In the development of the easy storage, so we ran the cross-access easement east to west all the way to the full ends of the property. Therefore, if Dobbs ever came in for some type of redevelopment or so, we could even extend that access even further west into the shopping
Right.
center.
And I assume there'll be some very clear signage in those new parking spots.
Yeah, I think
For
they're going to
people to
want to be, yeah,
Okay.
correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other council members have anything they'd like to ask or say?
So do we have confirmation if that that particular section of parking has been approved, if there's?
Yes, and that's why we have Mr. Clackner here. They're working on the legal agreement or instrument to do the easement. So
Okay.
yes.
And then I also, this really is just a question that came up, seeing the way the vehicles drive in through the building. And I know that the next step in all of this is that plans go to the, through the entire building review and everything. But just noticing how the flammable areas of the kitchen abut the wall that is then alongside where the cars drive. Has there been considerations, just additional safety considerations, given the potential close proximity of
Yes, and
combustible?
it's a good question. Unfortunately, the fire chief or fire marshal probably could better address that. So within that wall, it is a fire rated wall with that expectation that we were going to get something there. So there is that an additional level of protection in there. Then it is a fully sprinkled building on both sides and even within those corridors. So and in the drive-through area, then right beside the drive-through area is the little corridor where I have internal rear side of tenant spaces. And then within the tenant spaces, there's additional sprinkler systems. They're all kind of separated in there. And then they have to meet all the other code requirements for that. Our fire marshal Fain is familiar with that in terms of the layout. And yeah, there'll be, a closer review when they go through that. But yes, those are all things that are taken into consideration.
So there is built out space in between. Like you said, the interior rear side, so there's some tenant space, that little like.
It's a corridor, yeah, it's a corridor, so all these, the office complex, Delmos and all that can access that corridor in there, and then it's separate from the drive aisle. So if I was going to unload things for storage, I have limited access to that corridor because those are more for the tenants to be going through. So more for security purposes and then also for that separation.
Okay.
I hope that kind of addresses it. And
Yeah, well, and that helps because, and then there's at least that extra buffer of
Yes.
space should you have a very reckless driver.
We have
So,
Mayor Max.
and if memory serves me correctly, when they were building this building, weren't there a lot of like cement blocks a part of it? Not just drywall?
Correct. It is
Because they were
It's a
going to be putting
concrete
elevator
structure.
shafts and all these storage units. I just remember watching it go up and being like amazed, Councilmember Pishon Hellman, that there was just like so much extra strength being added to this building or sturdiness. Am I correct in that? Or?
Yeah, it's built differently. I think like I'd be guessing. So they are built differently. I think if you're comparing it to the Oliver or the Clover, the separations are required to be a little bit different because it's storage. Now, we do have restrictions on the type of storage they have, but since we don't have, the ability to monitor it 24 hours a day, they have to meet a different level standard than an apartment complex because there is that possibility between floors and all that. So.
And then My assumption is that if Mr. Placard's here, that this is an amicable, like, this is something that they're hoping will work out in a positive way.
Right. Mhm.
Great.
So,
Do we have any other questions from the council? Okay,
so Mayor, if I could just introduce Mr. Bond and Mr. Plackner. and
yeah,
get
but
those in.
they'd like to approach and say anything they can if they like. Please come up.
Council, my name is Steve Bond. I'm with Stephen F. Bond Commercial Real Estate. I do represent Easy Storage of Iowa. We are constantly in negotiations with tenants, and we have an opportunity to, instead of having 3 tenants, have 1 tenant. I can report to you that we do not have an agreement yet. We're working on it. I was not here at in our previous meeting, but I hate to use this as an excuse, but we have a lingual barrier here. The Chinese and they're Mandarin Chinese, and I just sometimes I've got to get people to interpret what they're saying, and some of the people that are interpreting for me are also Mandarin. So sometimes I just can't understand what they're saying, and also try to impress upon them the severity of trying to get all these things done for you so we can give you a proper presentation. So I would hope within the next week to 10 days, we'll either have an agreement or we will not have an agreement. And I'm hoping that we're going to have an agreement.
We're hoping to get one too.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Then Mr. Plackner, if anything, I mean, you come all the way. It's always good to see you, sir. Or entertainment king of all of it. No, if you had anything to.
No, I'm Don Clackner with Olivet Lanes, and we have an agreement there for the permanent easement for the parking, so that's no issue. Leaves us still plenty of parking with our business. There are times we do fill it up, but on a normal case, we have 140 parking spaces. If we have a full house of league on a weeknight, 96 bowlers. Everybody drove themselves, 4 employees, that's 100. So there is plenty of space to allocate towards this restaurant.
If I may say, sir, if I may say, I used to come to your bowling alley as a kid. It was the only arcade in Olivet. That was back when a quarter was worth a quarter. You know? But yeah, I got a lot of history there too.
I hear that a lot.
Don't we all?
Yes, indeed. Yes, we did. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, so we'll go ahead and close this public hearing. And I would like to ask if we could ask for a motion to approve this bill.
I think you need to read it a second time. Oh, okay.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve bill number 3053, an ordinance authorizing a special permit use to Easy Storage Olivet LLC to operate a 3,772 square foot full service restaurant on the property grounds addressed as 9538 Olive Boulevard, zoned COR, Commercial Office Retail District.
I'll second that.
All right, can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion is passed. Bill 3053 becomes ordinance 2823.
All right,
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
thank you very much. All right, so we're going on to item 9, bill number 3054. Can we please have that read?
Bill 3054, an ordinance to repeal ordinance 2549 and authorize the city manager to execute a Public Works Emergency Response Mutual Aid Agreement. First reading.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members and everyone. It's a fairly straightforward update to our mutual aid agreement. And last spring, when we had the severe hail, wind, and tornado come through St. Louis, I had a little brief look back at this and said, thank gosh, we have a good mutual aid agreement to get assistance should we need it from other agencies in St. Louis County. And actually, we have one in St. Charles County. To date, we've only used the agreement once, giving assistance to University City after they had severe rain events and flooding. We went over for a little over a week and assisted with cleanup in the streets, hauling debris back to their refuse facility. And fortunately, we haven't needed it. Updates are listed on the second page here. A lot of just sort of wordsmithing, but the crucial one was there was a typo on the actual reference to the state statute. So I felt it was important to get that corrected in the actual ordinance. Be glad to answer any questions if there are any. If not, we'll be back next month for the second reading.
All right. No questions from the council? Okay. The second reading will be on December 9th.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, sir. So we're going to go to item number 10, bill number 3055. Can we please have that read?
Bill 3055, an ordinance amending, I'm sorry, an ordinance adopting amendment number 3 to the City of Olivet's Salaried Employees Retirement Plan, as restated January 1st, 2013, first reading.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have just a small housekeeping item for us to amend our pension plan document as recommended by our actuary, or they perform a lot of the record keeping services for us too. And all this does is ease in some of the administration by making the look back period for the interest rate that goes into some of the present value calculations from 2 months into 4 months. And the reason being, the 2-month look back is the numbers aren't released until the second or usually the end of the third week of the month. And so when you're trying to plan for retirement or try to get that first of the month check to folks with paperwork, get it all signed by everybody and back to the actual payee is difficult to do. So if we use a 4-month, that number is set, again, 2 and 3 months behind while the person is planning for their retirement, and the paperwork can be determined, and the retiree can get their check on the first of the month. And so otherwise there is no other changes, just the look back period from 2 months into 4th month behind. So more than happy to answer any questions about the pension in general, or just this change if you'd like, and we'll come back on December 9th and for a second reading.
Any questions from the council? All right, we'll address this on the 9th. All right, so now we're going to item number 11.
And 9201 Olive Boulevard structure demo.
I'm sure many of you are aware that recently we acquired 9201 Olive Boulevard as part of the Olive Boulevard Intersections Improvement Project with the cost share grant with the state of Missouri. It has always been on my eye watching as people drive closely to that building, as close, as it's mere inches from the roadway. And the minute we acquired it, I thought it was very important, rather than waiting for actual construction to begin on the project, to get the building down and get the liability removed as soon as possible. To do that most efficiently, what we did was Public Works staff did a lot of the preliminary work that's required to do for a demolition project, just getting the utilities disconnected, making sure all of the hazardous materials have been abated, and all those in preparation for the actual work to begin. Those are part of the biggest part of the time, especially in a project like this with the building this small. So as soon as we had confirmation that everything was done and ready to go into for the various permits, we put the project out to bid and received the 4 bids as listed. Alco Wrecking is a qualified bidder. They're on Lindbergh. They have a long history of projects throughout the county and the region. And they have fulfilled all the requirements that we had in the bid document. We are, one of our requirements was to get this done in a timely fashion, and we want to have this done before Christmas, if not sooner, to get the building down and removed. Expect it to take no more than 3 days. And the final day really being just site cleanup and, neatening everything up. Be glad to answer any questions if there are any.
Any questions from the council?
Yes. 2 questions. It was previously a dry cleaner, but I don't think they actually did dry cleaning on site, correct? They shipped it out.
Yeah, it was, I don't know what you would call it, but yes, they would receive it and then a van would come and.
Okay, because I know there's incredible environmental challenges on destruction.
Many people have asked me that. Did they ever clean things?
Yeah,
there?
that's a big issue. I have a friend who's an environmental engineer. And second question, I guess, is after we demo it, and maybe this is a further question, is how soon will we put the right turn lane in there?
Right now, the project plans are with MoDOT for final approval. Our goal is to put it out to bid within the next 3 or 4 weeks. We have all of our back-end documentation ready to go. We're just waiting for them to give the final approval. With that being said, we would like to, our sort of tentative schedule is to be in a position to start construction in March. Irvington Apartments, which will have a big impact on the area, is scheduled to be completing their punch list and getting ready for occupancy second quarter of 2026. So we kind of want to have this being completed in parallel with them finishing the project. Okay. There are certain things out of our control, of course, MoDOT. But we have done everything that we could to keep this project moving as quickly as possible. In fact, we're about 1.5 years ahead of schedule per the grant. It was awarded in April 2023. To complete right-of-way planning and get us in this position so quickly is really not what you would normally expect for a roadway type project.
I have more of an unusual question. How long do they, once they do the wrecking, how long do they anticipate? 2-3 days?
Yeah, no more than 3 days.
Okay. And they'll be blocking, once they've done it, will they be cleaning off the sidewalk so people can still walk that
Yeah,
intersection?
the sidewalk will be open. We'll have the sidewalk fenced off. Because the
okay.
building sits back, we have sort of a front walk
Mhm.
or front parking lot and a rear parking lot.
Right.
And then there's the side alley. The side alley will be closed. We've already had discussions with the neighbor, the owner of the building, that this is coming. And to as close as it is to Public Works, I'm going to have Public Works staff actually do the traffic control and keep one of our folks on site just to make sure we don't have any, I don't know, inquisitive pedestrians or folks trying to cut through, just to be there to do a little extra policing
Perfect.
on site. And we have maintained better control that
Great.
way.
Thank you.
And what's going to be in the footprint of that building once it is demolished?
Well, the roadway is going to extend that way. So
Between now, after it's demolished.
oh, after
project.
we will. So part of the, there's a long history of a very peculiar set of easements that North Price Road exists upon. So when this is done, we want to clean up the actual right of way.
No, I think
forward.
what he's asking is, are we going to seed in straw? Is it
Oh,
going to be gravel?
oh,
yeah.
Is it-
Oh, okay. So
That's
for the
what he's
immediate
asking.
So it's going to be a while before.
Sure.
something
For the
gets built.
immediate future, it'll be gravel because that will be the construction staging area. So
Okay.
for the actual construction work, we really don't have anywhere to put a job box and materials and a porta potty. So that's what we're going to use for construction. We are talking now, actually, I'm more programmed for January to discuss what's going to happen with the remnant in the future.
Mhm.
But once construction's done, it'll be seeded and maybe there'll be a great statue of Bruce there when I retire.
Chuck Berry one.
Yeah.
It's related to that parcel, the one next to it, the foam
Yes.
shop. Has consideration been made for, if there's extra space there, adjusting the parking for the foam shop so that it
It's-
can be not on the sidewalk?
Yes, there have been some casual discussions with them about, how to accommodate that. There are also some traffic issues there with there's 2 aprons very close to each other and how to improve some safety there. So we want to get through the MoDOT portion of this and get ready for construction. And then we're going to come back to that with planning and look at a best use. But yes, that is absolutely on our mind, is how to improve access there for their tenants and improve safety on Olive.
Any other questions from the council? Okay, so I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute a contract not to exceed $14,740 with Alco Wrecking Company to demolish the building structure at 9201 Olive Boulevard.
Second.
Okay, can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Councilmember Prashant Hellman.
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion
Yes.
is passed.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
all right, we're going on to item 12, request to declare equipment surplus, patrol car and stump grinder.
Good evening once again. We have another request to declare one of the patrol vehicles surplus, and then 1977 stump grinder is requested to be sold as well. keep it running. I know everybody smiles about that.
I should have brought it.
I'll take it.
I was wondering if it was a model or if that was the actual year.
It is. It is, yeah. They've changed a lot in the last 50 years, haven't we all? It actually looks really strange for a stump grinder compared to what you might see in front of your house. But anyway, this is one of the vehicles is at fairly low miles for what we would typically see on a and these are the first round of COVID cars coming off where we didn't have a lot of miles on them and we were having difficulty getting them, so we got 3 almost at the same time. So this is the first one kind of coming off. And as we've changed our fleets, adjusted them over the last several years, this one is kind of not needed. So we'll send it away to auction to get the highest price.
Generally, what do you expect on a auction on a car like that? What would you ballpark?
This will probably go 10 to 12, maybe a little higher.
Very possibly.
Yeah, it's really, really bizarre what has happened since COVID of the used car market. I've kept track of this for 10, 11 years. It didn't matter. It used to not matter what would happen. $2,500. That's what we'd get.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't matter whether it was a 10-year-old car that the wheels were falling off or like one that just coming off. There's some problems that we didn't want to keep. It would go for about $2,600. Now they're pushing $8,000, $9,000, $10,000.
Wow.
I know it's bad if you can try to buy a good used car.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions from the council regarding this matter? Okay.
I'll be happy to make a motion.
Well, wait a minute, we got
No,
a
no,
question.
no,
on this
no,
one.
no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have what?
Nope.
I do. Sorry.
There we go.
And I apologize because I know that I have asked this question
Yeah.
before and I don't remember. So I apologize. Are we required to sell via auction as opposed to selling like to a dealer?
Yes.
No, we don't, there's no typical way to do it. However, for you to keep your job and for it's a best practice.
We have to offer it to the public.
Yes.
It's a public asset and it has, if we're going to get rid of it, we either have to say it, we have to destroy it. Like there's no useful, nobody would buy it. It's so old, nobody would buy it. We're going to destroy it, or we have to offer it to the public for sale. And the auctions are the best and easiest way to do that.
What if there's a citizen out there with a car with over 200,000 miles who love a 38,000 miles?
I'll give you.
I would say we'll tell you exactly when it's
Send it
going to
to-
be up for
Go to the
auction.
auction.
And-
Do they let people who don't have dealership licenses go to those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
online.
actually a point that when we do the auction, that it is a public auction, not a dealer only auction.
Okay.
So there are certain dealer only auctions, but that's not protocol we follow. It has to be available to everybody.
Yeah, I got one more year left on that car. I think, so.
And yes, the back seat is brand new.
Yeah.
Never been sat in.
No blood stain.
Interesting.
No, they're plastic cores that
Oh,
they go in there.
good.
The back seat's taken out and it's put
Sorry.
back in.
To get back onto just the financial piece of this, I'm just thinking through like a low mileage 2022 model vehicle. Thinking about, we approved not too long ago, a whole bunch of brand new vehicles that are not the same car, but I'm thinking, whoa, that it drops, it's a car with low miles. And I'm just thinking from a very practical perspective, why are we decommissioning a 2022 car with low miles and buying brand new ones?
So these are not, this is a police patrol vehicle. So 38,000 miles of a patrol vehicle is, and the wear and tear on the engine is not equivalent to my low mileage 38,000 car. It's actually much harder on the engine. So that is why we sell them at what appears to be really low miles, because it is not equivalent to what I may put on my car or any of us put on our car at 38,000 miles. These are a lot of idle time, a lot of stop and go, city traffic, and it's much harder on the engine. And that is why they are go through this rotation.
There's going around cul-de-sacs really slow is hard on suspensions. I've heard from the dealership that they consider like it's double to triple that mileage is about really what that car kind of acts like. it has on it, just because of how they're used. Really, I'd be more than happy to get you a ride along in a vehicle that it's like they don't hold up very good in the way we use them. So be careful when you're buying a bidding on it. Be careful when you're bidding on it.
Well, no, it's kind of like, and I understand what you're saying is there's 15 minutes of, it's like 15 minutes of jogging and then 15 minutes of boxing. That's what this car is going because it's much more intense, if I'm understanding what you're saying.
It gets it's a different use than what we do with driving it to work and kind of
Okay.
setting it going.
Well, if you
Yeah.
know anybody with a nice
That is a
G8,
consideration though, for sure. We take into take into consideration when we're doing our budgeting.
okay.
Can it be used somewhere else? Should it be used somewhere else? And this one just didn't kind of fit anywhere.
Okay.
But yeah, it's duly noted.
Any other questions from the council? I will entertain a motion.
Happy to make a motion to approve surplus. I'd like to make a motion to approve the surplus of asset 00930, a 2022 Dodge Charger with approximately 38,500 miles, and asset 08317, a 1977 Vermeer stump grinder for sale by auction.
Second.
Please poll the council.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
All right. Going on to item
This
13.
stump grinder is older than people up here.
That's true. The request to purchase a audiovisual equipment for use in council chambers.
All right, so staff is asking to essentially replace the piece of equipment that is no longer functional so that the camera will stop moving on its own. And so we,
You mean like on these?
So it's taken a lot longer than I thought. Technology has come a long ways in 7 years when it comes to AV equipment. But you know what we ended up with? Almost the exact same thing that we got in there today. So there was I kind of went back and forth on what do we do, and so we're going to end up with this kind of the same piece of equipment we have there. It will regain the same functionality that we had a couple weeks ago, and it will stop doing that, I hope.
Am I remembering correctly that this broke, we thought, during a power surge or power outage, or did I make that up?
I believe so.
Okay.
There's a gremlin somewhere in our system. We have a generator here, and it seems to affect low voltage systems. The normal like line voltage
Yeah.
is they seem to, it seems to condition okay and be just fine. However, the low voltage systems, we have things that just have.
The only reason I ask is
Okay, yeah.
it may not be the same for business or city insurance. Like my
Yeah.
insurance has a electronic kind of policy rider attached to it where, you
I'll have
can
to
get
check in
things.
that.
It's not an uncommon thing on electronics,
Yeah.
which no one uses. But if I drop my iPad,
Okay.
businesses and governments may not have that at all.
Okay.
But just
I'll
something to
check.
think about.
Yep.
I don't know.
If we'll definitely follow up.
If it was during that,
You're right,
if
it
it
does.
broke and it just broke, it's whatever. But if it's due to a low voltage surge,
Yeah.
or the generator might have to pay for it. I don't know.
Do,
I'll
do
build
these-
I'll build Kohler.
do these kinds of things come with a warranty of some sort? It's just
These will,
7
yeah.
years.
This we actually had the original one of those did die early on, and they came and replaced it and shipped it back. So yeah, that's a good point. There's lots of little doodads back there, but Extron is actually really good. And Crestron and Extron, they're good. They back their products pretty good. So yes, there will be.
Any more questions from the council?
It's in front of you today because it's over $10,000, and that's why.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion for the approval of agreement with Modern Communications, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $10,145 for the purchase and installation of an Extron Crosspoint 82 switcher.
Second.
Okay, can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, so we're here at part two from hearing from citizens, seeing there are none in the office. We'll go on in the room at this time. We'll review and acceptance of minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes that anyone has seen? Okay, I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from October 28th and the work session minutes from November 4th, 2025.
Second,
Can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
All right. We'll have our city managers report, excuse me, city attorney's report.
And I have no report this evening.
All right. I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Good night, y'all.